Hi, today I'm going to show you how to adjust the carburetor on your snowblower. Before we get started, I want to show you two types of carburetors that you may find on your snowblower with the Tecumseh engine. On some of the old snowblowers, which would probably date back to prior to 2002, you will more than likely find an adjusting screw at the bottom of the bowl here. This is the fuel mixture screw right here. You'll also find another screw here on the side of the carburetor. This screw here, which is a slotted screw, is called the idle mixture screw. And this screw here is to adjust the speed that you want your engine to idle at when it's throttled down. On some of the more recent snowblowers with Tecumseh engines, you'll find a carburetor that has no adjusting screw at the bottom. It's actually a fixed jet. This bolt here is actually the fuel jet for this carburetor. And you'll notice that there's no screw here where the idle mixture screw is on the previous carburetors. There is, however, the screw here, which is a Torx number 10, to set the idle of your engine. This little valve here is a dump valve. From when you store your carburetor, you turn your fuel valve off on your gas tank. Push on this, it will drain the carburetor of the gas so that it doesn't stagnate in there and create problems for the following year. Now this snowblower here has the older type carburetor with the screw at the bottom, as you can see under there. Now it's not necessary to remove this cover here that covers the carburetor. The reason for that is that there's two holes here. There's a hole here to set the idle speed on your engine, and there's another hole here to reach the idle mixture screw. If you look in there, you can see my Torx wrench is where the idle setting for the engine is. You can reach that from the upper hole. And you can see my screwdriver here, which is moving on the idle mixture screw, which I inserted through the lower hole of the casing covering the carburetor. So just to show you here, you can see the screw through the hole. I've got the idle mixture screw here set at 1 turn and a quarter. It's usually good there. You can leave it there and then simply adjust the main fuel adjusting screw at the bottom. So to do this, I'm going to start the blower. I'm going to rev it at full speed, and I'm going to turn up or down the fuel mixture screw until it runs rough either way. So until it runs rough when it's screwed in too much or screwed out too much, and then I'm just going to reposition it in between those two spots. Now I've got this screw here set at 1.5 turns out. The way you do this is by screwing it in all the way up. And then counting your turns out. So 1/2, 1 turn, and 1.5. And now I'm going to play with it with my finger. You don't need a screwdriver because it's fairly easy to turn by hand. And I'm going to set it to the position that it runs the best with the engine at high speed. Before setting your carburetor, make sure that the engine is warm. If you tighten up the screw too much like I just did and it stalls like that, just unscrew the screw a bit, start her back up. So now I'm going to show you how to adjust the idle speed by inserting your Torx screwdriver in the upper hole on the cover. So I'm going to start the blower again, let it idle, and insert my Torx in there, reach the screw in there. If you turn the screw in, the engine will idle faster. If you unscrew it, the engine will idle slower. So I'll just do a quick demonstration of that. When you adjust the idle on your engine, make sure that this lever is in the notch here, not all the way down. But when you're running it, just lock it in that notch. That's the proper idle position, and then adjust the screw for the idle setting. Now after you've done all this, if you still have a problem to get it to idle properly, you'll need to adjust the idle mixture screw, which you can reach it with the flat screwdriver as mentioned previously by inserting it into this hole at the bottom here, and either turn the screw in or out until the engine idles properly without too much hesitation. But I've set it at a turn and a quarter. You may be okay at one turn out as well, but it runs good for me at a turn and a quarter. And I've got the adjustment at the bottom made, so I'm going to leave it the way it is. Like that at high speed, and it idles good. When you've got the throttle down, she's good to go. If you find that your engine doesn't rev high enough at high speed, there's a little screw near the lever here. That little screw that you see right there, which is attached to the lever, it's usually a Torx screw or a slotted screw. If you turn that screw in, the engine's going to rev at higher RPMs when this lever is all the way up. If you loosen it, it's going to turn slower when this lever is all the way up. I've got another video entitled How to Adjust the Engine Speed Governor on your snowblower. Please go watch that video if you need to make adjustments to your governor. That video describes it in more details. And for today, you should be able to adjust your carburetor by watching this video. I've tried to make it as simple as I could so that anybody